Assalamu alaikum, everyone. In last class we have discussed I think political system, international political system. We have discussed different issues related to the business, related to international business as well. So I hope you have learned something. So this class we will study economic integration. What is economic integration? Their main 5 levels, what they are doing. So that's about cooperation between trades between countries. So I think you have seen European Union that they are doing a very good business. Like a car can drive from, let's say, Poland, can go to cross different countries, can cross through Italy, can cross through France, go to UK, come back without giving any tariff or tax, or without any custom issue. So why? Because they are having economic integration. They are trying to have a free trade. They are trying to have a good business between amongst the members. So it's for the benefits of all countries, for benefits of their citizens, people living there. They can have a quality product in a lower price. So that's why when you're buying, let's say, a 10 euro or 10 pound or $10 whatever shirt or t-shirt in London or Paris or any other, and you're buying a $10, let's say, how much Afghani is coming, 770 Afghanis. If you're buying even 1000 Afghani shirt or t-shirt or jeans, the quality will be far worse than compared to Europe. You are spending same money, but you are getting low quality of product because of competitions, of customs, tax, and all these issues. So that's why these countries came together. Another one is NAFTA, North American Foreign Free Trade Agreement, which is Mexico, Canada, and USA. They are having a free trade amongst themselves. So these are there are many benefits of having economic integrations. So we might discuss later on. So as you can see, you can have a lower price, you can have good quality of products, standard of living, in many different points as well. So economic integration is the establishment of transnational rules and regulation that permit economic trade and cooperation among countries. That's what we have discussed. Effective integration bring about trade creation, although in some cases these efforts result in trade diversion. So in next slides we will discuss what is trade creation and what is trade diversion. There are 5 levels of regional economic trade integration: free trade areas, custom unions, common market, economic union, and political union. So these are 5 levels of economic trade integrations, which we will discuss later on. So the most successful examples have been the European Union and the NAFTA, which we have discussed, North American Free Trade Agreement. So that's what economic integration is all about. Trade creation. So what do we mean by trade creation? What you can see, I think we have discussed competitive advantage and absolute advantage. So if you are having a comparative advantage in one subject, if you can produce a specific item in good quality at lower price, so it's better you can produce. For example, if you are producing perfume, good perfume at lower price, and I can produce let's say shoes, so I can send shoes and you can send perfume between countries. So a process in which members of an economic integration group began to focus their effort on those goods and services for which they have comparative advantage and start trading more extensively with each other. So if you are having a comparative advantage in technology, one country has a comparative advantage in technology, another company has comparative advantage in production or in services, they can exchange these services in items or production. That's called trade creation. trade diversion, as you can see, when occurs when members of an economic integration group decrease their trade with non-member countries in favor of trade with each other. So as you can see, economic trade diversions is like European countries, they are doing trade between themselves, like amongst their members, European Union members. So it will divert the trade between other countries. For example, if France was importing, let's say, vegetable oil from Malaysia, now if they are having amongst in economic integration, they can let's say they are now importing the same oil from Spain. So what happened? That the business in Malaysia have diverted to Spain. So it's diverting, taking control of the business to their member countries. So it's among themselves. They're doing the business amongst the members, among the business. يعني या قسم میکنن که خود این تجارت تغییر میتن، سیستمش رویش تغییر میتن به کشور خودشان. یعنی اتحادیه اروپا مابین خود تجارت میکنن، چیزی که اگر مثلا در خود اتحاد اروپا کشورهایی که هستن اگر نداشتن باز از کشورهای دیگه میخرن، و اگر اینا کشورها داشتن بعضی چیزای خود داشتن به یکی دیگه صادر و وارد میکنن، از یک کشور به کشور دیگه، فرانسه و جرمنی، جرمنی به پولند، پولند به رومانیا، از رومانیا به بلغاریا، از بلغاریا به نروژ و بلژیم و سویدن و whatever. یعنی به کل جا مابین خود تجارت میکنن. این تجارت هایی که بین زیا و کشورهای دیگه صورت داورت میکنه به خود منبرشان. So that's called trade diversion. So one common reason is that the removal of trade barriers among member countries make it less expensive to buy from companies within the group, and continuation of trade barriers with non-member countries make it more difficult for the latter to I can't see this, so it's okay. So that's what we call trade diversion. So it's diverting the trade from countries, and they are trying to have this business amongst the member of groups or among the member of these countries. Now next one, for example, the United States and Mexico have an agreement that allows cars to be assembled in Mexico and shipped to United States. So as you can see, shipped to United States. As a result, Mexico, a low-cost producer, supply a large number of vehicles sold in America, and both countries prosper as a result. So as you can see, this is the agreement. This is the trade diversion that they have created, trade creation and trade diversion. Because of their not American free trade agreements, now they have created a system for themselves. یعنی فایدهش بر دو کشور است. مکزیکو بسیار بارزان و موتورها را بسته‌بندی میکنه و میره به امریکا. امریکایی‌ها هم میتونن به کشور خود مثلا ارزان برشان موتور تمام شو. فایدهش به هر دو کشور است. امریکایی‌ها میتونن به کیفیت خوب به ارزان بخرن و در مکزیکو هم بسیار کار زمینه کار مساعد ساخته، مردم در کار میکنن، اقتصاد کشورشان و فایده بسیار زیاد است که شما میتونین درباره از او تحقیق کنین. یعنی دغه کوم شی چې تاسو ګوري په تجارت کې د هیوادونو ترمنځ د یو بل هیواد، نو دغه هغه شیان دي چې دی مخکې وړي او په هغه باندې کار کوي. یعنی دوه ګټې په نظر کې، هم د هغه هیواد په ګټه په نظر کې نیسي، هم د خپل هیواد ګټه په نظر کې نیسي. او پس له هغې لکه کوم قرارداد چې د امریکا او مکسیکو او کاناډا ترمنځ دی، تجارت آزاد دی، کولی شي په آزاد تجارت بدون د کوم مشکلاتو باندې راکړه ورکړه وکړي. نو دا هم د کاناډا په ګټه دی، هم د امریکا په ګټه دی، هم د مکسیکو په ګټه دی. یعنی تنها یو هیواد ته ګټه نشته. که چیرته په افغانستان کې هم اگر در افغانستان امرای پاکستان هم قسم قرارداد داشته باشه که بتونن تجارت آزاد داشته باشن بدون از مشکلات سیاسی، بدون از مشکلات فساد اداری، همه چیزا، ما شما میتونیم بسیار جنس ها را با قیمت ارزان با کیفیت خوب در افغانستان بخریم. So that's trade diversion. Now what we have discussed in the previous, that there are 5 levels of economic integration. One is there are 5 levels of economic integration, which extend from simple economic trade arrangement to full political integration characterized by a single government. So these are different levels that they can, in one level they can have free trade, next they have tax, then they have common currency, then they have a common political system. So let's discuss of first one is free trade area. The free trade area is where that the countries that they are not having tariffs. So we'll discuss what is tariff and tax in next discussions. So they are not having any tax on import and export. So that's free trade area. So that's one level of economic integration. Let's say Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, let's say Afghanistan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and also Iran, they come together that they are having a free trade area, that they are not taking any income tax or customs from trade between these countries. So that's called only free trade. There is only discount of tax in tariffs. So let's read an economic integration arrangement in which barriers to trade such as tariff among members countries are removed. So they don't have this system. Under this arrangement, each participant will seek to gain by specializing in production of those goods and services for which it has a comparative advantage, in importing those goods and services for which it has a comparative disadvantage. So what we have discussed, comparative advantage and disadvantage. So if you are producing a product, a specific item in a good quality, lower price, you will concentrate on such production. If other country is producing another product with a good quality and lower price, they will concentrate on production of that item. Then they can export and import between these countries. For example, if we are good in producing, having good let's say fresh fruits, dry fruits, precious stones, in all these things we can have comparative advantage. We can export these items to Pakistan, and Pakistan have rice, oil or whatever, they can export that. So it's the benefit of both countries without paying any tax or any issue or custom. So they are freely the goods can freely travel from Kabul to Islamabad, from Islamabad back to Kabul, from Islamabad to Lahore, all over Afghanistan. So that's called first level is free trade area. Next one we have examples: North American Free Trade Agreement, which is NAFTA, USA, Canada and Mexico; European Free Trade Association, which is Norway, Iceland and Switzerland, and one another country as well. So next one is custom union. Custom union is the next level. Here in this level, last level which we have discussed, that their tariff are removed. In this level, tariff is removed. Second, they are applying a specific policy against the non-member. So they are accustomed, they are a union, that they are having a special trade policy against the non-member. یعنی ایجا هم گمرکات از بین رفته همه چیزا، ولی یا بخلاف یا که اعضای از این نهاد نباشن، یک اتحادیه نباشن، خلاف از کشورها یک پالیسی را اختیار میکنن. یعنی اگر مثلا افغانستان، پاکستان، ایران، ازبکستان، تاجیکستان، کشورها یک جایشان یک کستم یونین و فری ترید ایریا را جور کنن که اگر با یک کشور دیگه ما تجارت میکنیم باید یک پالیسی داشته باشیم. یعنی اگر مثلا همراه هند تجارت میکنیم باید مکملی چند کشور که در اتحادیه هستن یک پالیسی را پیش میبرن، پالیسی تجارت با هندوستان. So that's called custom union. A custom union is a form of economic integration in which all tariffs between member countries are eliminated and a common trade policy towards non-member countries is established. This policy often results in uniform external tariff structure. Under this agreement, a country outside the union will face the same tariff on export or any member country receive goods. So the good example is Indian community, which is Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador and Peru. They are having a custom union, so their policy against non-member policy of trades are same. So that's the next level of economic integration. Next one we have common market. So what do you think about common market? In common market, there's another issue. Thus, they're not having all these barriers, they're having a union. Then what can happen? The factor of production among these countries can easily travel from one country to another country. Factor of production which you have discussed is land, labor and capital. A form of economic integration characterized by the elimination of trade barriers among member nations, which we have discussed on free trade area, a common external trade policy which we have discussed on custom union, and mobility of factor of production among member countries. So these countries can travel, their land, capital, labor can travel from one country to another, find job. Let's say French can easily find job in German, a German can work in France, French can work in Norway, Norwegian can work in Italy, Italian can work in Portugal. So it doesn't matter where you find a job, you can go and settle there. That's it. It's simple. So the best example of successful common market is European Union, and second is Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay and Uruguay. So that's another countries that they're having these issues. Among these countries, factor of production which we have land, labor, capital can easily freely travel, move from one another. If let's say a French have $1 million and he sold his property in France, he went to Portugal and bought a land in Portugal and live there. That's it. There is no issue of restriction on these countries, or visa issue, or business visa, or land issue, or you cannot buy property or 100% on your own name, or you cannot invest on foreign direct investment. There is not any issue related to documentation or any other barrier for a business. So that's another common market issue, a form of economic integration characterized by the elimination of trade barriers among member nations, a common external policy and a mobility of factor of production among member countries. The best example of successful common market is European Union in these countries. So that's the next level. First, which we discuss free trade area, custom union, then we have discussed common market. That's the fourth one. Let me go through free trade area one, then we have custom union, then we have common market. The next one is economic union. Economic union is the fourth stage of economic integration. In this level, countries, they're using single currency. They have fiscal policy, which you have discussed in micro or macroeconomics. They are having a same tax rate. They're amongst themselves, they're having one fiscal policy against the member, and they're having a common currency. So that's called economic union. So let's read. An economic union is a deep form of economic integration and is characterized by free movement of goods, services and factors of production among member countries in full integration of economic policies. So what we have discussed in last slides, factor of production can easily move, no barriers to trade, custom union, and also they are having a economic policy, a clear one economic policy against the non-member. So an economic union unifies monetary and fiscal policy, which you have discussed these two policies in macro or macroeconomics amongst the member nations, including the same tax rate. Second, has a common currency or permanently fixed exchange rate among currencies. If they are not having common currency, they are having a fixed exchange rate amongst each other. Additionally, most of the national economic policies of the individual countries are ceded to the group at large. There are no trade economic union in the world, but the creation of single currency, the euro, certainly moves to the European in this direction. So you see, European Union, all countries are using euro, so they are having economic union. They are using single currency. The only reason that only country that they didn't accept to use euro was the UK, United Kingdom, that they were having pounds, so they didn't accept their invitation. They were still the member. Now they left the European Union, so from the same time they were using pound, different currency. So that's economic union. Last one is political union. So the first level is free trade area, then we have customs, then we have common market, then we have economic union, then we have political union. So that's the last one. This, they are trying to come under one government, political agreements among themselves. They are controlled by one central government, and they're, let's say, United States, different states are controlled by a single government. United Arab Emirates, UAE, different countries are under a single union. So they are having still a one political issue. In the European Union, they are trying now, they have European Parliament. Now they are trying to have a single parliament. They were trying to have a single leader or someone to run all the businesses in all the countries, but that's how internally they might have some issues. But still they are having European Parliament that are controlling the whole European countries. So let's say a political union goes beyond full economic integration to encompasses single government. This occurs when this occurs only when countries give up their individual national power to be united and led by one government. One successful example is the United States, which combined independent and state into a political union. The European is now also on its way to becoming a political union. The European Parliament, for example, is directly elected by citizens of European countries, and its Council of Ministers, which is the decision-making body of the European Union, is made up of government ministers from each European country. So it's a process of political agreements that is controlled by a single unit or single government. So that's why you can find these issues which you can see they are coming together, they are working with each other, they are trying to have good businesses. It's all about their country's benefits. What we have discussed is political issues, economic issues. So next one is North American Free Trade Agreement, which is one of the best known free trade areas in North American Free Trade Agreement, which currently consists of Canada, United States and Mexico. The United States and Canada created this free trade area with the United States-Canadian Free Trade Agreement of 1989, and the arrangement has now been expanded to include Mexico. So before in 1989 it was only Canada and USA. Now they have included Mexico as well. So that's NAFTA, which is North American Free Trade Agreement. So most of these countries are trying to have a single economic integration. They are trying to benefit, they are trying to build their countries. Now you see USA, you see China, good example. You see UAE, another good example. From last 20-40 years Dubai was nothing. Now you see the Dubai life, luxury life, they have changed in last 20-30 years. So that was a dream, work hard, planning, everything, budget. So that's now you see that. So it's the benefits for both countries. The benefit goes to its citizens, its people, different economic benefits, social, everything. So imagine, we wish we had one Islamic whole, everything was controlled under single, like before we used to have under the Prophet Muhammad, then after next caliphates, that everything was controlled under. Now you could have just traveled to Saudi Arabia without having any tickets, any visa, passport, anything. You can easily go through all Islamic countries. If they were united, we have everything. We have gold, we have oil, we have more land, we have airspace, we have good geographic area, we have minerals. Everything is available with Islamic countries. The only issue we know is unity in all these problems. Now imagine if we didn't had all these problems, like European Union, we were all just like Islamic Union, one country. You can go to all over Islamic country, go to Malaysia, go to Singapore, go to Dubai, go to, let's say, Saudi Arabia, go to any Islamic country, Algeria, anywhere you want to go. Just book your ticket, flight, go, or go by car, or drive through, or just plan your work. So anything can be imported, exported amongst these places without any barriers, without any issue. A car, a truck can easily go from here to Saudi Arabia, everywhere. So they can cross through highways without any. Imagine if we had this system, this union, we wouldn't face such problems that we are still having poverty, corruption in these things. So it was a dream, still is a dream. We don't know, we might have this or we might not see this issue. So now these people have tried to build their countries, try to have agreement which is the benefits are for both countries, like 50. You cannot say that, okay, I want 100% benefit. No, 50 is your, 50 is mine. So it's a benefit for your country, for my country, yes. The benefit go through to your people, yes, to our people as well, yes. So let's start this agreement. So that's why they tried to come up with European countries like which are very poor, like Romania, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Bolivia, whatever countries are there. Sorry, Bolivia is not there. Czech. They are very poor countries, but other European countries are supporting them. So in order to build their countries. So that's a free trade agreement. That's it. So that's what we have discussed. Let me go through all these which we have discussed. We have discussed, that was last class, we have discussed economic integration is when countries come together to cooperate amongst countries and try to have a good business. Trade creation, what we have discussed, that they are trying to find jobs, employments, everything among member countries. Next, trade diversion, that they are doing business among the member countries and they are diverting the business against the non-member countries. Then we have discussed some examples, United States and Mexico. Then we have discussed levels of economic integration, which has 5 levels. First one is economic free trade area, which they don't have a tariff. The goods can freely travel from one country to another country without paying any tax. The next one we have example is NAFTA in European Union. The next is custom union, that they are not having tariff, then they have a specific policy towards non-member country. Then we have a common market, which they are having free trade. Then they have a specific policy against non-member. Then they are having free movement of factors of production. Then we have a economic union, which they are having a specific monetary and fiscal policy, one monetary and fiscal policy. They have a single currency and many other issues. Then the last one is a political union, which they are trying to work as a one government, which is United States. Different states are controlled by a single government, United Arab Emirates, and these are a good example now which we have discussed. European Union, they have European Parliament, they have Council of Ministers are selected from different European countries. So then last one which we have I think discussed is NAFTA, which is North American Free Trade Agreement, which was done between Canada and USA in 1989. Then they included Mexico as well. So that's all what we have discussed. We wish we have this, we don't have any trade policies, trade issues with other neighboring countries. Now you can see that we are facing a challenge with Pakistan, then our countries are facing with Iran. So that's why you can do some research regarding business problems between amongst these countries, So most people, that's why we are having very low quality of products, because of corruption and all these issue. I wish you uh, come to a point that to solve these problems. We all talk about problems. Yes, we have this problem, our country has this problem, we are facing this problem, but this is our responsibility to solve these problems. Now if you're studying BBA, it doesn't mean that you always talk like others. Yes, this problem, this problem. No, you need to have a plan how to solve it. Everyone talk about plans, but you guys need to find solution for it. That's a very important point. Yes, we have problems, but we need to write proposal. If you become in a place that you can see that there is a benefit between agreement between one another country, you can join, have proposal, stock in all these issues. So I think in international business we have discussed what are international business, we have discussed advantage and disadvantage, we have discussed globalization, then we have discussed World Bank, IMF, WTO, all international financial or non-financial institutions. Then we have discussed international politics, communism, ideology, different political system. Then we have discussed economic integration. So I think that's around 5-6 weeks, or somehow we have already finished. So next I think we need to discuss about cultural issues, some other agreements as well. So I hope you have learned something. So please do listen to your recordings and do more research and try to find more news what is happening in the business. When I finish some I think next class I will give you some assignments which you need to work in the at home and send it to or upload it to LMS if it's possible. If it's not possible, you can send it to my email address. So I think we will have at least one, if presentation is not possible, at least we will have assignments or case studies or whatever. So that's it. Thank you very much. See you in next class, inshallah.